In Matthew chapter 10, it says this, "Do not think I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be those in his own household. He who loves his father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. He who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who finds life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it." That doesn't sound like a guy who's changing things to fit what I want. It sounds like he's telling me, I'm bringing a sword into the situation, take up your cross and follow me, not the other way around. And we also notice that he said he was bringing a sword. And we know that he didn't come as a warrior. We know that he didn't come as a soldier. In Hebrews chapter 4, it says, "For God is living and powerful and sharper than a two-edged sword, piercing even to the vision of the soul and the spirit, of joints and marrow, and is discerning of the thoughts and the intent of the heart." That's the sword. Also says in Revelation chapter 1, "He had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword, and his countenance was like the sun shining in its strength." The sword that Yeshua was speaking of is the sword when preachers stand in the pulpit and they raise their Bibles and say, "This is my sword." They have no idea really what they're saying. That sword was brought into existence to divide from one side to the other. Jesus said you either serve God or you serve mammon. You can't serve two masters. This sword divides. You're either on this side or you're on this side. There is no middle. The sword has made its division. You see, Yeshua's focus on the work, on his work, and the cup that his Father has given him. By no means is he trying to make life simpler for us. He is fulfilling the things needed to be fulfilled in order for us to be with him in heaven. In Psalm 89, it says, "My covenant I will not break, nor alter the word that has gone out from my lips. Once I have sworn by my holiness, I will not lie to David. His seed shall endure forever, his throne as the sun before me, and I shall be established forever like the moon, even like the faithful witness in the sky." We know Yeshua is the Word, and he has by no means changed the Word to make it easier for us, but he's fulfilling all the things that need to be fulfilled so that we can follow a path. It's like there's a wall in the path. That wall was our sin, or it's a valley that needs to be crossed, and that valley is our sin. He tore down the wall so that we can keep going. We had a wall in front of us. We had a valley that had to be bridged across. He bridged the gap. He tore down the wall so that we could keep going. He didn't bring the goal closer to us. He tore down the wall so we could keep going and get past the thing that was hindering us from getting there. Yeshua made atonement for us so that we can dwell in heaven. He fulfilled the sacrifices and the offerings that were made in the temple, and then made you and I the temple. He eliminated the physical building and then made us the temple. Our daily offerings are made within our own bodies. Our atonement is made right in here, from our mouth, through our ears, seeing with our eyes. All of the things that the temple itself represented is now resident here within us all. That still leaves a lot of Torah that's left to be fulfilled in ourselves. Yeshua lived his life and completely observed the Torah, proving it could be done. A man can come in the flesh, be born of a woman, live out 33 years of life, and be completely observant to the Torah. He proved it could be done. We ourselves, we accept that we're sinners. We accept that we've fallen short of God's glory. But we also have to pick up our cross, pick up that burden, and carry it. He died on the cross for our sins. So we have to take up that cross that is our sins and carry that with us. We can't be perfect. Who'd want, not that who wouldn't want to be, but he is the Messiah, proven by his life. If anybody else could do it, then he wouldn't be who he is. But we are still, each and every day, to grow closer to his likeness. God created man in his own image. Adam was created in God's own image, the first man. We are to grow every day back into a relationship that God had with Adam. The dividing line between God and Adam was sin. Yeshua came, took down that dividing line and says, now you have free access, and it's our job to get back to the beginning. We are to draw closer and have the relationship that God had with Adam, where God dwelt with a man. We're not to be complacent in who we are, satisfied with what we are, and satisfied with who we are. We have miles to go to get to the relationship that God had with Adam, to where God spoke with Adam in the garden face to face. As far as I know, there was one man on earth that God spoke with face to face, and that was Moses. And I'd say we're pretty good if we get that far. But we're still to live our lives each and every day fighting and struggling and combating to get back to what God had originally intended for man to be. And that was his sinless person, his sinless man that he created from the dust of the earth and blew life into him. Yeshua says that he is the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. He put an end to sin. He put an end to it. He made atonement for it. We don't have to live with it anymore. It's not our burden. It's not our curse. He put an end to it. We can make atonement through ourselves, go straight to the Almighty with our offering, and it will be accepted every time through the blood of Yeshua. Now it is our turn. It's our time to do what we need to do and to fulfill our lives in drawing closer to God. I had this thought come across me this week. It was actually yesterday. But I had this thought come to me. If God is basing everything on our lives, and he's got this book of what we've done with our life, and he bases that almost like a chart as to how far did we get back. We got to this point. We accepted salvation. Everything's wiped clean. Now you've got this far away. Now you got to come back. What if? I'm not saying that it's true, but what if God's going to base what we did in our life upon how far we get back down that line? How close do we get to being the likeness of Moses? How close do we get to being the likeness of Yeshua or Adam? What if that's the bar? What if that's the base? And I think we all need to look deep within ourselves and look inside ourselves and find out where we're at as people. I know I'm a long way away. This is all new to me. But I think God has set the bar and said, okay, here is what I have for you. Now let's see what you do with it.